We've been very careless about driving our van all over the country without a spare tire.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel.
Hello, how y'all doing? It's a little warm today.
Well, it's beginning of summer, so it's really hot. But
Humid
anyways,
here, so we're gonna make this install as quick as possible and get back into the air conditioning.
well today guys, we are going to be installing the new L van.
The Explorer.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be the aluminum ladder in tire carrier.
Yes.
We've been very careless about driving our van all over the country without a spare tire. I think we chanced it long enough, so we decided to go ahead and install this, put a spare tire back on, and go down the road safer.
Just in case, for any emergencies and stuff, we'll definitely be covered with this. So yeah, we put it off long enough.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and prep the ladder first. We just finished unboxing it, cutting up all the foam protection stuff during shipment. And now what we have to do is just pretty much install the tire, I guess this is the tire holder, onto the actual ladder. And then from there, we'll go ahead, after that, we'll install that onto the actual van.
Right. Yeah. Alright guys, so we got the new ladder, the new version.
The new version that just came out a few months ago. And with the ladders now, they actually have mounting points for all the additional accessories you want to mount on the back of your van.
Right.
Which we thought was a lot cooler, so
yeah.
Took us a little time, but found a way to get
it. It was hard to find one actually.
Everyone who is a dealer seems to have the old ones and would not order the new one for us, but
yeah,
we managed to get the new
found
one.
It. Alright, so first thing we're going to put this new the tire carrier on. These are the bolts for them.
Okay. So very easy. 2 bolts. The tire holder goes underneath here. Just drop the bolts in. What you guys want to do is crank this in by hand, as tight as you can get it, so you don't cross thread and strip the actual thread out. So according to their video, they want you to tighten it as hard as you can, or they recommend torquing it at 70 foot-pounds. Here is torque wrench. We have set to 70. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten it in. All right. Now with the ladder and the tire carrier bolted to the ladder, we're ready to move the next step. Install it onto the van. So to install the carrier, our van's equipped with a cover in the back, so all we gotta do is remove the cover and get access to the back of the actual door.
So it's held on by clips, guys. So just go ahead and pry those off. So these are the plastic clips that keep that panel on to cover the door. So we're just going to go ahead and just pry them off.
Cool, got all the clips out. Our van actually is one of the ones that has the access hole here, so we don't have to drill through this back panel, which will save us one step. All right, included in the installation kit is this foam stencil What it does is it helps you measure this corner here, where you can actually mark the hole where you can drill. And this is actually the physical size of the hole for the mounting plate to drop through. So you have to drill properly a smaller pilot hole, an actual hole that goes through 2 panels, which is the skin and then the actual structure of the door, and then we can bolt this through. So let's start off by lining up the stencil and marking our hole.
After you have your circle, you want to mark a dot right in the center of it so that you can drill through that and make your first puncture hole.
Typically when you drill through metal and you're using just a typical drill bit, it'll have a tendency to move and slide and you'll want to run around everywhere before it actually bites in. So one way to counteract and solve that problem is to use the center punch. What this does is it'll put an indentation where you want to actually drill, and it just leaves a tiny groove in there, just big enough for that drill bit to catch and keep you centered. It's very easy to use. All you gotta do is place it down on the center, press down till it snaps. That's center. You can see it slightly has an indentation. It's grooved down, but now when you physically go and put a drill to it, it's not gonna run everywhere. At least it should. What I'm doing now, I'm using an actual smaller drill bit than they want me to start a pilot hole. And once we use that hole to go through, we'll actually use a bigger bit and we'll drive through it. So the first layer, it's gone through. It's very thin metal, it's just the skin. The next thing you want to do is just put it in, hold it as straight as possible. Let me actually open this door here. And our door has this little, I don't know, probably wiring to something right here. Just make sure you pull this aside before you drill so you don't drill through this. And what I'll do here, we'll slowly step it up a little bit bigger and bigger so it's easier to drill that hole out. Because sometimes when you go straight to a big hole, it'll tear that metal and it just doesn't give you a really, really clean installation. We'll go ahead and just widen this hole now with the actual step bit that came with the kit. So they actually have one of these step drill bits where we're going to use that to hollow and open that front hole a little bit bigger for the bracket. For this part of the bracket to actually fall in. So. There you go. You don't want to go too far, too much. Just take it one step at a time and test. So you're not going to have a plate that's going to be wobbling. All right, just before we actually peel the adhesive, take this bracket on, I just want to test everything, make sure the hole goes through, everything's lined up properly. You see that it went through, we're in good shape. Now we're ready to actually protect the metal. You can use spray paint, you can use
nail polish,
anything just protect that exposed metal, keep it from corroding. So what I'm using here is some spray paint. I'm going to just get it very close, shoot it inside the hole to get some of the interior pieces, and then we'll brush the rest. And with the rest of it, what we'll do Just spray a little bit into a plate.
It's all hers.
Get some of that and just brush the hole. Make sure you get really good coverage with it.
Alright guys, and just let that dry for a second.
Alright guys, so now the paint's dry, the next step what we want to do is we want to clean this section of the panel so we can actually we're using alcohol, just a white.
This is to remove any debris, dirt, oil, dust, whatever it is that is on the panel that, you know, would
interfere with the actual adhesive bond.
So make sure you guys let that dry first.
So what we're doing, this is the actual support bracket that goes in. There's a double-sided adhesive on the back. We'll peel this off, we'll line it up perfectly, and we'll just press it right on. Since our surface has been cleaned, what we'll do is we'll place this piece right into the hole. Don't press down on it yet. You want to line everything up as perfect as you can. Make sure everything's straight. And then press. What this does is it helps hold the plate up and also helps seal around that hole to keep any water and rain from penetrating. Okay, next step, we're gonna get the nuts and bolts ready for the bracket. One thing you need to know with these vans, the Sprinter comes with what they call 180 degrees hinges and 270s. And our van's equipped with 180 degree hinges. And you can tell by these two holes. If you don't have this on your van, then you need to order hinges through our vans to properly mount this. If not, it won't mount to the 270 degrees hinges. So in the kit, it comes with these brackets that will go behind the hinge to help support the actual nuts and bolts. There's two of them. One looks like this, which will go onto the top hinge, and on the bottom hinge will be the square bracket. And what you can do is you can tell these holes aren't perfectly drilled. It's closer to the top on one side than the other. You want to make sure that side's standing up. It's very easy. All you do is you place them in right here for the bottom one, and this direction for the top one. We have all the nuts and bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and prepare them. The nut and a washer. And there's 4 of them in the kit. So we're ready. We're gonna go ahead right now, get the supplied bolts that go through. There's no washers on this side. We'll do the same thing with this bracket here. And we're gonna go ahead and place them through the hinges. We'll just let them hang in place right now. I'm gonna temporarily put these on, bolt the ladder in, but I'll take the bolts back out and we'll actually apply Loctite at the end before we tighten everything. I'm gonna slowly close that door back. And as you can see, we have our nuts and bolts hanging ready. So what we'll do on the next step is we're actually going to pick up the whole ladder, and might be easier having a little bit of help so I don't scratch the van up. All right, we're ready to start mounting the ladder onto the bolts.
We think it's easier if you guys have the door open, just in case anything goes through, you can just grab it real fast.
Plus you can get your hand behind it to hold the bolts.
Yeah.
As you're sliding it through.
close it?
Yeah. Okay, so for this next step, we're gonna run this bolt right through that drill, the hole we drilled. What they want you to do is put this rubber grommet in between this and the door. And what we'll do is we'll run our bolt right through, washer on one side, nut and washer on the other. But prior to this, I'm gonna put a little bit of Loctite on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this in and start tightening this down. Right.
You don't have to cut the tip.
Just apply a little bit of this, and this will keep that nut. Once it dries up, when we drive that nut in, it'll keep it from backing out from vibration. That's good. And the reason why we didn't tighten everything, we left everything loose, is to help you get this whole, the actual nut through and get it in place for you.
Now are you tightening it?
Now this one I'm gonna go ahead and tighten, but they only want you to tighten it to a point where it slightly crushes this rubber grommet. You don't have to tighten it the whole way, where it's gonna flatten it. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna tighten this out here. You just want to tighten it hard enough where it slightly domes out, like a little dome. And as you can see, it's not flattened the whole way, it's just slightly domed. All right, so for the final step, I'm gonna take these bolts out one by one. We're gonna apply Loctite to it, place the washer in the proper location, and we're gonna tighten them up one by one. So what we'll do is we'll place the bolt back through, place a washer on it, and then the locking thread nut. And what we'll do is we'll tighten it in by hand, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the other. All right, next thing we're gonna do, pop these little protective covers off and put these steps in. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put some Loctite on this too, so it doesn't spin its way out. Let's see, hang on. He's working okay, man.
Right now, since we are almost done, all we have to do now is put the protective door panel thing back on.
Here's the back of the door card. We'd like to see where the actual clips are at, so you'll know exactly where to pull and pry on without damaging your panel. Oh, there's magnets right here to hold it. Yep. This is all done. So the last step to the tire carrier is actually installing the mounting bolt that will lock the tire in place. Included in the kit is the bolt, One side has a hole so you can put a master lock or padlock in at the end. Goes in a specific way. Have your bolt, standard washer. And what you do is you'll slide it in behind here. Back to the front. You put another standard washer, a lock washer, the one with the cut in it. And we're going to thread this bolt. The whole way in. And right now we're going to approximate kind of where the tire's at, depending on the size of your wheel and tire. This will adjust accordingly. All right, so for our spare tire, instead of using the factory tires, we went ahead and got a matching tire. The exact ones we got, which are the Black Rhino Arsenals. I think they're 17x7s with some 265/70 R17 BF Goodrich K02 off-road tires, or the all-terrain tires. So we wanted to go ahead and match the same one we have on our van. In case we ever had an issue, this would just fall right in place and we're just right back on down the road. So to make this work, these come with the caps, which we have to take off.
Alright guys, so our camera died, so switching it up.
I don't know, can you grab on anywhere? Or I'll just do it myself.
What do you want me to do?
We don't have a lot of room.
Do you have community?
You put it right there. Not all centered right now. That's about centered right there. Here, you can lean it out like this for a second. Hold on. Behind it. Okay. Ready? Okay. All right, the last step. We got this little rubber piece. It's kind of tapered. That goes in, fits a pocket. This goes in behind it and we'll lock the actual wheel in. And that's it. Okay, it's all done. See, this hits it.
Oh no.
That's what I knew. Figured. So, this has our bike carrier. I'm gonna have to take this rail off minimum to make sure that door closes for now, because eventually we're gonna replace this anyways, because we don't actually use the actual bike carrier. All right, the installation process is done. We're finished. There's one more accessory that we went ahead and ordered, and this is the actual, I think they call it their Expedition. So I gotta look into this. But it actually goes into place of this lock, like tire lock, and it will allow you to mount some more accessories onto this right over your spare tire. Just gives you a lot more space, a lot more real estate to mount all the tools and everything that's necessary in the back of your van. So I think this thing runs about $140 for the bracket. But what we decided to do is we're gonna add some Rotopacks containers. And one's for water right now, one's for diesel, just to have a little extra fuel, because you know the fuel tanks on these things are kind of small, and just a few more gallons can get you down the road if you get into that situation.
Even with the water, you know, our van can only hold,
like
what,
19 gallons? So a little extra water, I mean, it's useful just to have.
You never know, right?
So this is very easy. What we did is we got the ones with the locking mounts. So it comes like this. This is the actual base to it. These holes are pre-drilled and it will fit, and it mounts right to it like that. So what I'm doing here, there's 2 bolts, 4 washers. Actually, we're gonna use 2 washers, I'm sorry. All you gotta do is line it up like this, holes to the hole, and literally just screw the bolts in. All right, that's all it takes to mount this mount onto it. We'll go ahead and go back and replace it off of this. So the next step, put your container on. Literally, you should turn it. These things lock into place. Like a little half turn. And the ones we got has an actual physical lock. It'll lock your tire and your actual tank.
Since we have the other tank for water, let's just go ahead and install it now, huh?
Yes, because the one. We did buy the extension where you can mount 2 tanks back to back. Make sure it's a little straighter there.
So that's the extension, is it? Or
Yeah,
is that?
This will extend where you can stack 2 tanks
Cool.
back to back. So we'll line it up first. Slide it. Actually, we'll put
The water?
the water tank in first. And it's the same concept. We turn this knob until that locks.
So what other colors do they have? Like
They
other
have
tanks?
red for fuel, yellow for diesel, white for water, and they're coming out with blue for DEF for your diesel. And with this, you just want to turn it where it's 90 degrees like that. That's where you lock one tank in. This just goes over like that.
I think it looks cool with 2.
Start putting this in. Same concept.
One more? Or? Cool. And then put your lock in?
That and place the lock.
Is that magnetic? Or how does it stay
No,
in
it's
there?
just a lock.
Oh.
It turns that just sideways hard enough to lock. So now this handle doesn't spin, and you're set.
Ooh. All right, guys, I'm gonna put it to the test. I'm 5 feet, 120 pounds. Let's see. Ooh. Go one more. It's pretty sturdy. Cool. Alright guys, so that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed our installation tutorial. I hope it really helps you guys out with some tips and little pointers that we did. I would really recommend you guys, whoever has a camper van or whatnot, to really install this tire carrier. Just because we don't have enough space in the van to put an extra tire, especially if you're going off-roading or if you're on the road a lot. You know, it's just that safety insurance for you, I guess. So yeah, I really like how it looks, and it just gives us that peace of mind. We travel a lot, we're always in and out of town, so yeah, and I think it gives the van a more rugged look. You know, I really like how it looks. And obviously we'll be adding some more accessories to the back of our van, so stay tuned for that.